When I started high school, we had the history teacher also taught band and chorus because it was a small school. And so she needed a trumpet player. And of course I didn't have one. And so she arranged for me to have one, and then finally my parents found a used one and got me. So I played trumpet all the way through high school, and even out of high school for a year or so. But then I sang in choir, and I really liked that. She was really a good music teacher. Matter of fact, she was a lot better music teacher than a history teacher or sociology, because we didn't have many electives. But anyway, that's what I that's when I really became interested in music on that. And then she wanted me to do solos and go to what they call district, and then regional, and then state. And in state, they rated you, both my junior and senior years, I took solos and got the high rating in both of them. And so I was a music major when I started college. And they had an a cappella choir of 60. And most of the people were juniors or seniors, that made that. But I was fortunate enough to make it as a freshman. And it was a traveling choir, and I really liked that. And so, but, I had 4 years of really good music training in high school, which most of the schools there didn't have that, because if they had music in them, most of them did, it was not a trained person, but she was in music. But then no teacher could just teach one thing. You had to teach 3 or 4 things, and so she taught history, kind of. So I had an advantage, there. And then being able to make the a cappella choir as a freshman was a big advantage on that. And when we joined the choirs, which we have always been in a choir, I used to do just about all the solo work that was bass.
I had a few piano lessons. He had more than I did, quite a bit more. So he learned to read music, and he still now does. If you see him in church, you'll see him with a book, because he wants to see those notes. So, especially since he doesn't hear very well now, and so he doesn't do solo work anymore, because he's afraid he'll mess up a note because he isn't hearing it as well. He has a really nice voice. Mine, I just call it mediocre. I'm just a average singer, I guess. Support. I give just a support singer. I sing alto, he sings bass.
When I quit abruptly doing solos, and I'll never forget it. I didn't know that I had a hearing problem, and we were still in the fellowship hall, and we had a music person, and that did the choir and a pianist. Well, I had a solo one time that was in the middle of a piece, and it started on F, and I couldn't get it. So I asked the pianist, I said, would you just kind of hit that F a little harder, because it's in the piano accompaniment, and I hit that so that I can get that when I come on. And so we went and did it again, and I still didn't hear it. And so I said, would you hit that a little harder? And the choir laughed. And she said, this piano, you cannot hit it any harder than I did. Well, I couldn't hear it. And so I don't think I did a solo work after that, because that wasn't the only one that I didn't hear on it. And that's why I have to have the music in front of me, because I can hear it enough to blend in. But if I'm not sure, then I wait and come in just a little bit later on that. But there's just sounds and that I don't hear. And that's the way it is. And I still really like the choir. And I really miss not singing in it, but someone asked me the other day why I didn't, and I said, well, Valeta just isn't ready yet, to come back. To stand very long or to sit very long really bothers her. And they said, well, that's okay. You can come. And I said, you don't understand. We do things together. And so we always have anything that we can. Now you have to have separate parts, like committees and stuff like that you do. But if it's anything that we both can do, we play golf together, and we travel together, and we go to church together, and we sing in the choir together, and we go to marriage encounter together, and it's just the way it is.
I do read music some, but I took clarinet all through high school. I was in the band. That's about the only thing we had for women. No sports at all. But we had marching band and just band. And so that's how I learned to read. But I don't have to have the music like he wants it, because he's a lot better.
Right.
Well, he learned to read music really, really well.
I really like opera. I really like to listen to opera, particularly when we had some of the really good male opera singers, but I like country western. I was raised on country western, and in Branson they have all kinds of it. They have 50 major theaters there, and it's all family. You can't all of their programs are, their renditions are all family.
You could go to any theater with your children and be okay. They're not going to tell raunchy stories.
They all have Christian. They all have some Christian music and the Pledge of Allegiance. Every one of them.
Patriotic.
And if you're not doing that, it is the music capital of the U.S. It took over Nashville. Matter of fact, Nashville had a sign at the edge. It said, "Turn off your lights before leaving and going to Branson." Turn out the lights.
Turn out the lights.
Yeah.